Greetings to all. Welcome you all to AWS Solution Architect Training Sessions. Second day of demo come live session. So just before starting for demo sessions day 2, we are going to discuss general information just about this batch. You join the batch number 392. This batch is specially designed for weekend. That is, it is having sessions on Saturday and Sunday, only weekly 2 days on weekends. Every session, it is going to continue for 2 hours from starting from 6 p.m. IST to 8 p.m. IST, plus or minus 10 minutes for each weekend, 2 hours session. So it started this batch yesterday and you successfully joined, and the recorded session already published on the YouTube. And today is a day 2 session. So every total duration of this course 30 hours. That means every week total 4 hours are going to complete by joining 2 sessions, each session 2 hours. We are going to have an interactive session by implementing practicals, discussing on theory, interacting with everyone, and working on the cloud technologies. So within 2 hours, I'm going to showcase the live session, how to configure, how to work on respect to cloud service, and you are going to understand the concepts and don't do any parallel operation while listening to the training module. Okay. The session is under recording, so the recordings are available to play later session. So you can play the video and then you can do the practicals. Yeah. So the course fee is 4,720 Indian rupees. If you are outside India, if you are trying from outside India, the payment it is going to showcase as a $55. Okay. So as mentioned earlier, first 2 sessions are free to attend. Already you attended one free session yesterday. Today is second free session. So next weekend, that is next Saturday session, whoever completes the payment, they are going to get a separate Zoom link to continue the sessions from the day 3. That is session number 3 onwards. Whoever completes the payment, they will be getting a separate Zoom link. So you will be getting a notification. Who are registered on this course module, they are going to get a mail communication. At the same time, you are going to get notification on WhatsApp community channel. If you are not part of this specific batch WhatsApp community, please join. You are in a position to get this WhatsApp community. Just open logiclabstech.com on your mobile. You can find upcoming batches information, wherein you will find this batch number 392, AWS Solution Architect Associate. This is a WhatsApp community link. As soon as you click on this WhatsApp community, I'm going to paste this chart link on chart window of this particular session. So you just need to click on this link and you will be in a position to join instantly to the WhatsApp community of a specific batch. Okay. So it is very much important to be part of this particular WhatsApp community, whoever continuing this particular batch, so that they are going to get a regular updates about this, any cancellation of the session. Until today, the 2 demo sessions, you are going to get a notification on WhatsApp community. Batch is going to start 30 minutes, 20 minutes like that. But from the day 3, session 3 onwards, you are not going to get any communication about session start time. You are going to get an update if any delay in the session or is there any cancellation in the session. Because of my availability, if I am not able to continue the session, there will be an update. And not only that, whatever the emerging technologies, you will be getting a notification in WhatsApp community. Okay. So just an important update, who are going to continue this particular training session, if not able to start the session, don't disconnect. Please wait online for at least 5 minutes. I'll make sure to start the session by 5 minutes before. If at all any technical issue or any delay, please wait until 5 more minutes. Until 6:05, please be online in the session. If I'm not able to start the session even after 5 minutes, then you can check on the notification. Is there any update on WhatsApp community, session cancellation or anything? Otherwise, a well advanced notification will be there, any cancellation. Session start time is not going to mention going forward. Only for demo sessions only. Admin team is going to broadcast, session is going to start in 30 minutes like that. Otherwise, there is no communication other than cancellation. Okay. Moving to the next point. All recordings, this session also, second demo session also will be published on YouTube so that you can share with your friends who are interested. They can understand the concepts and continue. So all the recording session, apart from these first two, demo 1 and demo 2 sessions, these two sessions are live sessions converted as a demo to understand how the topics are going on, how the delivery is going on, so that everyone can understand and continue the sessions. Okay. Whoever completes the payment, they will be getting a YouTube, not only YouTube, they will be getting a direct access to LMS Graphy portal, wherein they can play the video for lifetime. N number of times they can play from mobile device, laptop device, any device from anywhere, they can play the video. Whatever the files we are going to showcase, PDF files, PPT files, any notes, those files can be downloaded. Those files also will be uploaded to LMS Graphy portal. Okay. So that's what it is mentioned here. All the session recording and notes will be accessed through LMS Graphy portal. For any kind of queries, even technical related queries also, you can send a mail communication to this support at logiclabstech.com, or these two numbers, mobile numbers, enable WhatsApp communication so that you can send a message with the community members, admins, or you can directly call them outside India. You can call without any issues. The admin team is available to address your queries Monday to Saturday between 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday to Saturday. So at any point of time, if any kind of queries, you can reach them. Admin team is ready to serve you at any kind of queries. Okay. If it is a technical, they will redirect that communication to respective faculty. The only thing you need to do in the subject line, what batch you are referring, what kind of issue. You just mention if it is admin related, they will try to resolve. If it is a technical related, they will redirect to respective faculty. Okay. We are available on social media. Whatever the training videos are publishing, just open and showing in YouTube social media what are the things. I'm opening YouTube. For every session, whatever the training module is going to schedule, for every training module, first 2 or 3 sessions will be published on YouTube. That is, just you need to go to Logic Labs Technologies. You can find this Logic Labs Technologies. Just subscribe to this particular Logic Labs training. You are in a position to get a complete list of trainings All related trainings, first 2 or 3 sessions will be published over here. So if any training module you are looking for, go here at any point of time. You can play that respective day 1, day 2 or day 3 sessions and understand is it related to your career opportunities to enhance your skills. If it is related to your career, just coordinate with the support team. Support team contact numbers are available. Even on Logic Labs Technologies website also, the support contact numbers details available. You can reach them and what batch you are looking for, they will assist you at any point of time. Okay. This is all about general information before continuing day 2 session. Any questions on this general information? Anyone can speak up. If you are not able to unmute yourself, then only raise the hand. Otherwise, at any point of time, you are happy to interrupt me. No hesitation. To clarify your doubts, no need to raise hand. You can unmute yourself and ask the query. Okay? I'm happy to answer your queries at any point of time. No questions? Then move on.
Sir, you will cover Cloud Trail, Messi services and all, right?
Yes, yesterday session, if you are, is it first session for you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yesterday session YouTube link is available on WhatsApp community.
Okay.
So what are the services we I'm going to cover every
Sure,
topic
sure.
mentioned here, cloud
Uh,
trial, cloud foundation, not only migration, everything.
I'll check, sir. Thank
No,
you, sir.
yeah. Okay, let's move on the session, day 2. Every day, whatever the session we are going to start, just a review of previous session, whatever the topics we discussed in the previous session. Just we are going to start just a refresh and then start day, respective day agenda. Yesterday we just had the introduction and then course details, explanation of course content, how what are the services we are going to cover. And at the same time, we discussed couple of important points, queries. So what is this course all about? Is it suitable for so-and-so course, so-and-so career? Is it related to non-technical? All those things we discussed yesterday. And at the same time, what is the pre-requirements to continue this session? That is pre-requirement is registration. That is 12 months free tier access you are going to get that we successfully completed. Hope everyone is completed the registration on AWS Management Console. Any doubts, any questions on this? Everyone, hope everyone is completed AWS Management Console registration. Anyone not able to complete any queries during the registration process? Anyone? Hope everyone is registered with your email ID. It requires email ID, mobile number, credit or debit card, complete address. The address can be anything. It is not mandatory to mention exact address, but the intention is you should not leave any field blank. Okay, that is a main important point. That PDF file, yesterday session, we published how to complete the registration. That is a basic requirement to continue the sessions. Without registration, continuing the session is a meaningless, to be frank. If you are not in a position to do practice, no need to join the sessions. Okay, please, whoever interested to learn the technology, they need to do practice with the help of 12 months of free tier access. Okay, so I'm going to continue today's session. That is, I'm ready to log into AWS Management Console. So here we have an option, sign into console. I'm going to click on sign into console to start today's session. What is today's session we are going to talk about? We are going to talk about some basic cloud fundamental theory points. The most of the sessions will be 90 to 95% practical. Only 5 to 10% theory topics will be there. So please pay attention. Each and every topic is so important for next topics to understand. So don't miss anything. If you miss any session, you can play that video later times because you will be having a 5 days gap from weekend session to next weekend session. So you can play that video, whatever the important points you can practice. Okay. Sign into console. So as who are completed registration, they can mention the mail ID as a root user. We are going to discuss about what is the IIM user when we talk about identity and access management concepts. Until that, we are going to use only root user. Okay, the root user is nothing but whatever the email ID you are registered, whatever the registered email ID in Amazon portal, that email ID is act as a root user. Okay. So next, I'm going to enter password. MFA is a mandatory setting. You must enable MFA. You need to download any authenticator app. With that authenticator app only, you are able to register complete multi-factor authentication. Okay. Let me log in. The code 925257. Okay. Able to log in. Perfect. As part of today's agenda, we are going to start. Everyone able to log in. Okay, everyone able to log into the console. And what is the starting point? What is the starting point? Where to click, where to go, how to understand the concept, what is the starting point, that is important. Okay. So here, starting point, whatever the application, whatever the in IT environment, information technology environment, whatever the act you are going to do, everything is going to start with users. Users in the sense we are the customers, we are the users. We are all connected together a Zoom session. With the help of Zoom session, we all connected together. You are able to listen. I am able to coordinate with you all. What is the application here? Zoom application. Is that Zoom application required without users? Users requirement will be there for any kind of IT requirement. That is, we are the users. What is the user requirement? Based on the user requirement, application is going to come into picture. The application who is going to develop, the developers, the software programmers, they are going to prepare that application as per to meet the user requirements. To application, to run that application. Now, I'm going to ask a question. What is desktop? What is server? What is a client? What is server? Who can answer? Desktop and server? Anyone, please be interactive. It might be silly or not an issue. We are going to interact. I am going to enhance my skills by interacting with you all.
Sure. Sir, let me tell you, desktop is like, for example, uh, whatever I would say I have a laptop. I can use or say it as laptop or desktop or like a screen on which I am running any command or doing any activity. Or for example, I am on my desktop and I am watching your this session. So it can be as a form of laptop or a normal screen along with the CPU on the desk, that box that we have, which has all the components integrated in that. And then the
Yes,
server, there are different type of servers which, when we put any query, it gives us the results. For example, Uh, Google is one of them. It's a big example. Means for me, as far as I know. So server client is something different. So me as a client, I'm putting a request on www.amazon.com. So Amazon, like in the backend, it is going to take my query to, the database of the Amazon. So from that, indexer or the database, whatever query I have asked, if it is available, it will through server, it will serve my requirement.
Okay,
this,
very,
this is what I know, sir.
very good. Thank you. Anyone to,
It's yeah, it's just like a front end and back end. Using front end, we'll send a request, and back end will receive a response. So while using client, we'll request everything, and the server will give the response.
okay, very good. Okay, anyone? So here the users are going to access the application. Now this application, where to install? To run that application, whatever the application it may be. That application can be accessible through a browser or a client tool. Whatever the application you are going to use, for example, I'm going to use the application as these users are going to use ticketing, flight ticket. Flight ticket is a requirement for users to book a flight ticket. Now the application may be any application which can serve to log in to book a ticket. That to book a ticket application users, they can use their laptop, they can use their mobile devices. Their mobile device is going to have an operating system. What is the operating system? It may be Mac or it may be Android OS. If it is a laptop, it may be Linux or Windows operating system. But whatever the desktop or laptop or a client, that is nothing but a single user interface, isn't it? So the basic terminology, it is a single user interface. If you are able to use a system, a desktop, is anyone able to use your system, desktop, laptop? No. That is a desktop operating system like Windows 11, Linux also desktop operating systems are there. That operating system, why we are calling as a client operating system or desktop operating system, it is gives only single user interface. Okay, what a single user interface, and server is multi-user interface, right? Multiple users can connect, like flight ticket, number of users to book the ticket, they are going to use an application. For each and every application, there will be a client tool. The client tool to what? It has to give an interface by accessible by respect to user. Then the client tool is going to be a front end. To work that client tool, what we need to have? Server. The server application, client application, server application. What's the difference here? Client application is going to access a server wherever this application. Again, this server application is going to embedded with the multiple components. A web server. Web server requires a front end, a browser interface. But to give the user authentication, it requires an authentication mechanism. What user is able to log in, what password they are using, it has to maintain a database. So a server application is a combination of multiple components together to access by respect to client tool. That means this server application or a client tool, what is required? Operating system is required. OS, we are going to say that OS. This OS for client tool, it is desktop OS, you can say. For server application to configure, we are going to install server OS, isn't it? Whatever the desktop OS or a server OS, what is required? A system. What is a system? System is nothing but motherboard, CPU, memory, storage, network. These are the basic components of system. Now this system, what are the system? It may be mobile, it may be laptop, or it may be server system. That server system is going to run 365 days, 24/7. But your mobile device or laptop device, it is designed, the circuit, whatever the electronic components it is available in system, that is going to capable to work max 24 hours continuously. If you use more than 24 hours continuously, what is going to happen? It is going to hang. The system capability. Okay. So the without system, I cannot install OS. Without OS, I cannot access the application. Without applications, users are not in a position to fulfill their requirements, right? So this IT infrastructure, where it is starting, according to users' requirement, everything is going to design. In this entire infrastructure, IT infrastructure, different departments like server administrator, desktop administrator, storage administrator, network administrator. So this entire technologies without a system, is anyone available here in this sessions able to work without system? Are you able to create a program? Are you able to access internet? Are you able to perform any IT related activity without this infrastructure? Is it possible? No, right? So what is the cloud here? This system, whatever the system is here, right now everyone is using a laptop connected to Zoom session. Everyone is using laptop to connected. Their network option is there. Without broadband internet communication, you are not able to join this session. Not only that, that system is having an operating system. On top of operating system, Zoom application is installed. That application is working properly with establishing the communication, network communication. We are all connected together because of network. So this AWS Solution Architect Associate is talks about the IT infrastructure and different tools what are going to involve to achieve the user's requirement. Okay, so what is a cloud first of all? What is a cloud? What is a cloud? We have to understand first whatever the laptop you are using, that is a traditional environment. Traditional environment. What is a traditional environment? You are using system plus at your home broadband router is there, right? Broadband router plus ISP, internet service provider. This a simple environment within your home. You can imagine the traditional environment for an organization. How many systems, how much internet, how many devices network to connect, establish more systems together. At home itself, you are having a traditional environment that every family member, there are 5 members are there in the family. Everyone is having a mobile device or laptop. Everyone is able to access internet. How? With the help of here total system. The system may be mobile or laptop. Total 6 systems. One broadband router. And broadband router is having a ISP connection. So these are the devices connected together, a small traditional environment. You can imagine the organization having a To work organization, how many systems? It may be 100 to thousands. You can imagine that environment, that is a data center. Data center is nothing but replacing a home. In your home, 6 devices are there, 6 mobile devices, 1 broadband router, 1 ISP. For an organization to connect 100 or 1,000 systems together, what kind of infrastructure they need to maintain? To maintain that infrastructure, how much cost is involved? So, in a traditional environment, whatever the system it may be, it requires a place to place a systems, to connect a network, to store the data, it requires a storage. These all components we are going to call it as a IT infrastructure. That we are going to call it as a data center. A big building, each room will be having, each floor will be having a different components, systems, infrastructure to serve the user requirements, right? Any questions until this? This is a traditional environment, not related to cloud. To deploy this data center for any organization, it requires lot of investment. Requirement is more cost is involved. That means to deploy this place, they need to place a data center, they need to purchase some experts to manage that systems and all those things. To avoid this, all those things, a small organization, if you want to use the services, they don't want this data center requirement. They just need only internet to access function. They don't bother about anything, no IT infrastructure, no management, nothing. That's where the cloud is going to come into picture and it avoids. What is a cloud? Cloud is nothing but accessing a specific service over the internet. What is a specific service? In a traditional environment, to access an application, they need to configure server application. They need to install server OS. They need to have system. For the system, they need to have a power. They need to have a network. They need to have a storage. This without having anything, the application is not going to work and users are not able to fulfill. The cloud layer is going to come into picture. The cloud layer is going to come into picture for users. They no need to bother about what is a backend. They just access the application without bothering about, without worry about anything underneath. What is the infrastructure, who is going to manage, how they are going to manage, nothing. Just user need to have a device with an internet facility. So whatever the application, they are able to access that application over the internet. This application may be a specific application like DB or web application or any kind of application or OS or a system also. There are applications, different categories are available. Network services, storage services, application services, different services are available. All the services are hosted on a cloud. What is a cloud? There is a data center which is going to manage by a cloud provider. User or organization no need to bother about managing that particular hosting services. A simple cloud terminology is accessing a specific application over the internet. That's it, simple cloud. There are different terminologies are going to come into picture. Now here, I'm coming back to traditional. To work with application, I need to have a system. I need to have a OS. I need to configure this OS to connect this entire setup. Then only I can install application. Now, I'm not going to look at system. I'm not going to have a OS download to install, to configure. Simply without having any system, without configuring, without any knowledge on specific operating system, we are able to configure, we are going to deploy a specific system on the cloud. Why we need to start, where to start in the cloud technology? Okay, we connected the portal. Which one we need to start? Can anyone tell me within this, where to start? Do I need to start with the users or do I need to start with the application? What is required for initial start? To work with application, to work with anything, what is the minimum thing to start? Which service I need to go with? In this entire layers, there are 5 or 6 layers. Within the 6 layers, where to start? To start my configuration. First one, I need to understand the first layer, the system and operating system. Without operating system, I'm not able to configure any application, right? So this particular 2 layers are going to cover as a compute compute. That compute is nothing but a system plus operating system. Here in AWS management console, here it is going to terminate technical term as EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. Compute Cloud, CC. That is Elastic Compute Cloud. This is going to call it as EC2. Where this EC2 start? I'm going to click on services. Okay, services. I'm going to go with a compute. Where is the compute category? Okay, here analytics. Here compute category is there. Click on compute category, select EC2. This is there are plenty of services. Where to start first? Now I am going to understand how to deploy a system. Do I need to pay anything? No, without paying anything, you are able to deploy a specific system. How easily? Without having any knowledge. Within this browser, I am just moving the cursor. Okay. Anyone having a doubt? Why I started with compute? There are plenty of services are available. Why I am starting as a compute? Anyone having a doubt? Okay. System, without system, I cannot do anything. So I have to understand, even if you are working on DevOps, you need to work on command line, one of the Linux system, Ubuntu or SUSE or Red Hat, whatever the operating system may be. Without accessing the system, you are not able to install Jenkins, not able to install Docker, not able to install Kubernetes, nothing. You need a system. With the system only, you are able to configure applications, downloading, install, configuring, everything. You need to have a system. That system is going to come from compute under EC2. Okay. This is a starting point to go with compute, and I'm going to select EC2. Now, okay, EC2 started. Now, we should able to understand in this particular portal. I'm going to go back to that management console home page, console home. In this console, there are certain things which you need to understand. The first thing, as soon as you log in, you are able to see, let me change my color. It is not visible properly. Change to red color. Don't mind, I'm using red color, not to, it is just to highlight. Okay. Here, Srinu Cloud. What is this account? My account information. I am able to click respect to icon. There is a small arrow is there. There you will be able to see that account ID. Every account is going to have a 12-digit numeric number and your account information, what is the account settings and all those things. Services, quotas, organization, all those in billing and cost management, all informations are available here. Next one, you are able to see as soon as you connect, you are able to see next circle, the next icon. At any point of time, if you are not able to correlate what I'm talking about, don't hesitate to ask. Yeah, please be interactive. As you are not asking questions, and keep moving. Okay. Whenever there is a situation comes in picture, I'll ask question. Otherwise, it is your responsibility to interrupt me and ask question. Don't hesitate. Is it a silly or asking a question is a right or wrong? No problem. Okay. Here, I'm going to click on next icon is it is showing as United States, North Virginia. If I click on drop down here, what is all these things? What is all these things? These all are collected as a reasons. What is as we understood in that initial system understanding, here we understood a data center. That means data center is nothing but a big building which is going to equip with all IT related components. It may be system, it may be storage, it may be network, it may be cables, power, generation, backup, all those things will be their IT related components. That is a data center. The same building, a data center is nothing but a simple thing. It has to maintain redundancy. If something goes wrong, other systems should take into consideration to avoid impact. That kind of robustness, they are going to place the IT infrastructure, the devices will be placed at data center. Now, this is a cloud provider. You registered, I am registering. Like that, 1,000 users are registered and they are accessing these services in this cloud portal to configure. The AWS is providing 12 months of free. That means everyone is trying to configure the application and use. For that use, they need to provide components access, right? So AWS is meaning AWS Global Infrastructure Map. AWS Global Infrastructure is each and every data center. Each and every data center. There are total 36 reasons. A reason is nothing but a dedicated data center. A reason within the geographical location, a dedicated data center. Like that in worldwide, 36 reasons are there. Each reason, if one specific reason is there, in that specific reason, availability zones are there. What is availability zones? Availability zones are nothing but within a region, there are, for example, I am sitting in Hyderabad, for example. In Hyderabad, Hyderabad having a two regions. Sorry, Hyderabad is a one region. Within that region, it is having availability zones. In Hyderabad, one corner, it is going to have one dedicated data center. That is AZ, availability zone. The other corner is going to have another availability zone, other data center. If something goes wrong with the one data center in Hyderabad, one corner with a flooded, that is not able to access any services, any components, then whatever the data is there, that data must be accessible in any kind of natural calamities. So in each region, there are managing 2 or more availability zones. There are different setups are there. We are going to discuss in later sessions. Now, whatever the action we connected here, I told you it is the drop down. Currently I am connected to North Virginia. Even though I am sitting at Bangalore at my home, I connected to North Virginia. How robust this AWS global infrastructure, how sophisticated this global infrastructure is, it is going to check your internet connection out of these green dots. These are all reasons. In India, there are 2 regions are available. One is in Hyderabad, one is in Mumbai. As soon as you move the mouse cursor in Hyderabad, how many availability zones are there? There are 3 availability zones. In Hyderabad, in 3 corners, each corner 1 availability zone. Availability zone is nothing but a dedicated data center. So each region is going to have 2 or more availability zones to provide more sophisticated availability of application, smooth function of user access. Okay, this is a global infrastructure. Now, why my session is connected to, I'm connected from Bangalore. Why it is connected directly to US instead of connecting to Hyderabad, Mumbai? Because from India, from Bangalore, it is nearest point to Mumbai, Hyderabad, even though it is connected to United States, North Virginia. Why? That AWS infrastructure, it is going to make sure to serve you better according to your internet connection. The global infrastructure is ready to serve you wherever the resources are ready to serve you better. During your free access, if you are getting a delay accessing the service or not able to work properly, what is going to user experience? You will feel the service is not good and you are going to switch over to another. So the AWS providing 12 months free, you can understand how robust infrastructure it is. And it is going to search based on the algorithms wherever out of available 36 regions and 114 availability zones, which availability zone is going to serve you better. So here, as soon as I log in, I connected to what region, what availability zone. You can see here, it is going to showcase North Virginia. Within the North Virginia, how many availability zones? There are 5 or more, 2 or more. Out of, I connected to one US East 1, that is a AZ availability zone. Okay, what is the reason? What is availability zone? So right now, from my laptop, I'm accessing as soon as AWS Management Console, as soon as I enter root user and password, it connected to North Virginia. Can I change this region? Yes, you can change. There are whatever the regions are available to zone, you can choose. There are certain regions are available which are not accessible. See here, there are 15 regions that are not enabled for this account. These 15 regions, whatever the 15 regions are there, these regions are only available for customers, specific customers who are ready to pay and configure their service in respective regions. For free tier account, these all regions you can switch over. But please leave wherever you connected at first attempt. Why? The Amazon AWS infrastructure is intelligent enough to make you smooth experience. That means whatever the service you are going to use, you are going to configure, it is going to make sure that your experience is very smooth. No glimpse of any usage or any impact. So for example, I'm going to start with EC2 today. I'm going to select compute and selecting EC2. Whatever the service you are going to configure, the service will be deployed on the fly. Let's start. We are going to deploy a Windows instance and a Linux instance without having any system. I don't have any knowledge on Windows. I don't have any knowledge on Linux. How many systems you are able to deploy? Let's do start. So started with compute, under compute category, under compute category, I selected a sub service called EC2. EC2 is a one service. What is that service? Virtual servers in the cloud. I am going to access virtual servers. What kind of virtual servers? It may be server, maybe Linux, or maybe Windows, Ubuntu, Mac, anything. See here. Here it is going to showcase launch instance. Just click on that launch instance. Launch. How user-friendly this particular application launching. Portal. Very user-friendly. A simple information it is going to ask. Easy to understand. If you are not able to understand what it is, you have an option, Info tab. By clicking on Info tab, you are going to get a information about, for example, Info tab. I click on Info. What is name and tags? See here, it is going to provide the information. What is this name and tag? You no need to go to separate documentation, separate KB articles to understand what is that concept. Every documentation is integrated with the AWS portal itself. You no need to go to Google search or any search engine to understand what is this name and tags. For example, you don't understand what is launch and instance. There is a tab called info. Click on that info, you are going to get a simple information. Okay. So launch as an instance. What is the instance? Instance is a technical name. In a traditional environment, whatever the system we are going to call it as, the system may be physical system, may be virtual system. In a cloud, whatever the service you are able to access, everything will be deployed on a virtual system. Backend, a virtualization will be there. What is a virtualization? If you are interested, you can have a understanding that of day 1, day 2, day 3 recordings are available in Logic Labs YouTube channel. Those sessions are delivered by me. Virtualization technology. What is a virtualization? You are going to get a virtualization topic understanding. You no need to join session. You just go through that Logic Labs technologies. What is a virtualization? VMware administrator. What is a virtualization? Day 2, day 3, you just listen and you are able to understand what is a virtualization. Okay. Here in a cloud, the system, virtual system, there are system two types. One is physical. Whatever the laptop system you are using, that is a physical device. The system is having a motherboard, processor, memory, storage, networking, right? That same physical system will be available as a virtualization. Without physical system, there is no virtualization. Without virtualization, there is no cloud. You should understand this relation. A physical system is mandatory to work IT environment. Without physical system, no virtualization. Without virtualization, no cloud. As simple as that. The cloud is nothing but a web portal front-end application, easy to access the services. That's it. The backend, according to your selection, the backend, it is going to deploy on behalf of you. So that is what we are doing now. A instance, what is the technical term? The system is nothing but two kinds of systems. One is a physical system, another one is virtual system. The virtual system can be used for desktop, can be used for server. Okay. As we are working on a server operating system, we are going to call it as a virtual servers. Okay. As we are talking about server operating system, we are going to call it as a virtual servers. This system, the same system, I'm going to represent as a server system. What is that server system? I'm using that hardware for a server purpose, not a desktop purpose. That's the reason I'm calling it a server system. The same system I'm going to call it as a virtual system or virtual server. Virtual server. Now, these all terminologies in AWS cloud, it is going to call it as an instance. What is EC2? Elastic Compute Cloud, a service to deploy, to configure instance. Instance is nothing but a virtual server in a cloud. Virtual server in a cloud. Okay. What kind of system? I'm going to deploy a Windows server. Now I mentioned the name as a Windows server. Now here you can have that predefined application and OS images. Okay. Here only a simple categorization is available. Application, instance type, key pair, network, configuration. Only these configuration details only we are filling to complete a system deployment. In first section, we are going to select operating system plus application. We can choose a predefined operating system, base operating system available. If you choose base operating system, you need to configure application. If you choose OS plus application, then you just need to fine tune that application. No need to install any application. Okay. In the second concept, instance type. Instance type is nothing but what is the instance? Just now we discussed. Instance is nothing but a system, a virtual system in cloud. What kind of instance type? In this operating system types, application types available to choose. In this section, we are able to choose hardware configuration, how much CPU, how much memory, how much storage. That is going to design here, instance type. What is a key pair? Key pair is a mechanism. Key pair is a mechanism to log in, to enter, to log into this, whatever the system you selected in this first phase. This is a predefined configuration. During that predefined configuration by the cloud provider, they integrated one kind of password that we are not sure what password set by that respective configuration. How to access that password? Without password, I cannot log in. I cannot use. So they are configured in AWS. They integrated one mechanism to access that password. Whoever configured the application and OS images, they must enable one kind of security password. To get that password, they integrated a mechanism called key pair. What is a key pair? Key pair is nothing but one key will be there by default. That is a public key will be there in this particular step. In this particular step, public key will be there. In this key pair section, we are going to create a private key. That means we are going to prepare a key to open the lock. How we are going to prepare a key to open lock of this particular system? That we are going to create a private key. Once the private key matches with the public key, the key sequence, automatically you are able to log in. We are able to understand what key pair, how to create and all those things. Next, This operating system is deployed. Instance type is selected. Key pair mechanism. Next network setting. What is a network? It is a publicly available. How to access? What components we need to configure? We are going to understand firewall, IP address, public IP address, private IP address. All those things we are going to configure in network settings. Storage. How much data you would like to use. The storage details you are going to set. The advanced details, if you want to configure any advanced details, you are going to set. That's it. We are able to deploy. How simply we are going to deploy? Let's have a look. First one I mentioned as my planning is to deploy Windows Server. So under application and OS, I need to select, as I mentioned, Windows Server. I'm selecting operating system Windows. In Windows, as soon as I select Windows operating system, the list of operating systems availability is going to display under AMI, Amazon Machine Image. We are going to create images. How do we create? By creating a template, by creating a snapshot, we are able to create a template. With the template, we can create our own Amazon Machine Image. We are going to see that. We are going to do practice on that. Here, drop down. As soon as we select Windows, here drop down list is going to come into picture. What version of Windows Server you would like to install? 2025 latest build, latest version. We'll go with 2022. Here in 2022, there are two options, 2022 base, 2022 core base. Which one we need to say? Windows administrator is ever easily ever what option to choose. But we are as a starting point, we are able to go with base. And important thing here, we must see each selection, whatever the selection you are going to do, that selection must have a free tier eligible. I'm going to drop down again here now, and you can see some of the versions, some are a free tier is there, free tier eligible is there. This one free tier eligible is not there. That means if you choose this, you are going to charge. You are going to get a charge. What charge, how much charge, we are going to see that. No worries. So the first section must you choose 2022 base operating system. I'm not choosing 2025 because it requires additional configuration. It is not available. Okay. So I'm going to choose 2022 base. Selected. You can see that 2020 base. Here important thing, you must understand free tier eligible is there or not. Okay. Next one, application configuration is done. See here, under application, I selected Microsoft Windows, Windows base, 2022 base. Application is done. Next, instance type. In the instance type, again, this configuration. Here, if you drop down, you are going to get a different types of configuration. You must select a configuration which is showing as a free tier. Don't select any other thing. Okay. If, for example, here free tier is not there, free tier option is not there. What is the charges you are going to get for this particular hardware configuration? Whatever the model name you are able to see here, T2 micro. You are able to see T2 micro. What is this T2 micro? It is so simple understanding. If you go to the market, you will be having a Dell laptop, HP laptop. In each vendor, you will be having a different models. You will get a system, Dell laptop for 30,000. You will be getting the same Dell with 1 lakh rupees also. So that is here, the model name it is going to mention here. For this model, what is the configuration? You are going to get 1 CPU, 1 GB memory, and storage. And is it a free tier? Yes, it is a free tier. What is a free tier limitation as per yesterday's session? We are eligible if you deploy a system with a free tier, you are going to get 750 hours of free usage. That means whatever the charge it is mentioned over here, that charge is not applicable for us. If you use the system for 750 hours within a month, you no need to pay any single paisa. Okay. So there are different configurations are available here. In this, there are higher configurations. You can see that what is the current configuration for Windows system? The free tier eligible for Windows on-demand Windows based pricing is 0.0162, not even 1 rupee per hour. Not even 1 rupee per hour. You can imagine you are getting a free. You are getting an operating system. You no need to pay license cost, nothing. No need to download, no need to open any account. Okay. So similar way, you will be having a different configuration. See here, highest configurations are also available. Let me showcase the more cost. Here you can see here. Here one configuration, 36 vCPU, 70 gig memory. How much is charged for 1 hour? $1. That means nearly, in Indian currency, it is nearly 100 rupees for an hour. If you use 10 hours, you need to pay 1000 rupees. As simple as that. Okay. So here, don't select anything. Instance configuration. We are eligible, free tier eligible. That is T2 micro model. The model, that's it. It is just like Dell model, HP model. How simple it is able to understand? Instance type is nothing but describes about hardware configuration, how much CPU capacity, how much memory capacity, and storage also is part of this. Okay. Instance type selected free tier. I'm going to minimize this. Instance type is done. Next, key pair. The key pair, I don't know the password, whatever the application OS is configured, Windows 2022 base. I need to find out what is the user ID, what is the password. I don't know anything. To get to know that username and password, I need to configure key pair. So what are the details I need to enter? So here, you can use a key pair to securely connect your instance. Okay. Instance, what is instance? Can anyone tell me what is instance, please? What is the instance?
Sir, instance is nothing but a virtual machine that we have developed or a normal
Very good,
system.
thank you. Yes. So for that instance to log in, we need to have a username and password. So here, as I told you, as I mentioned in a previous topic, the predefined template, Windows 2020 server, whatever it is selected, that is pre-configured. It will be having your own password set by developer, programmer, who are deployed this. I need to get that password. That's where we are going to click on create a new key pair. Here we are going to mention, I'm going to mention today date like win key. And what is today's date? 2nd Feb. Win key. Here two mechanisms are available. Private key file format. Whatever the key is there in that predefined configuration, that is a public key. During the deployment, we are creating a key pair to match that particular public key. That key pair, what we need to select? Private key file format. Is it a PEM extension or PPK extension? For Windows systems, we need to choose PEM extension. Other than Windows systems, we need to use PPK extension. Okay. So this is a one kind of mechanism. It is going to generate an algorithm to match that password configuration to get a what password it is. So we need to select for Windows, we have to select PEM extension. For Linux system, we are going to deploy Linux system. For that, we need to mention PPK. Okay, create a key pair. As soon as you click on create key pair, it will be downloaded to your downloads folder. Okay, downloads folder downloaded. Key pair is done. Next one, network settings. In this network settings, leave the default settings. It is going to create a security group. What is a security group? By default, Windows system we are going to deploy. You can see that it is going to create a networking automatically, create a security group, and it is allowing by default allow RDP traffic. What is RDP? What is RDP? What is a port number? What is this representation? This is a basic networking fundamentals. We are going to talk about this networking fundamentals in VPC in a detailed manner. Okay. For time being, any network representation, all networks, there are different networks, class A, class B, class C networks, different subnets. So the network packet can come from any network. Any network represents will be 0 by 0, 0.0.0/0 represents any network. Any network means class A IP, public IP, any IP, the packet. Now what is RDP? It is a port number, application port number. In OSA model, the packet is going to start with a port number to represent a specific application. What is RDP port number? Can anyone tell me? What is HTTP port number?
Yes, sir. HTTP is 80 and RDP is 22, I think.
Sorry?
That is for UDP.
Okay, no problem. You can go Google it.
Yeah.
It is okay. 3389, I think so. Let me do it. RDP port number. Even I'm not sure what is exactly port number. RDP port number. It is 3389. See here. So there are
3389.
yeah 3389 RDP port number. So by default, as soon as you deploy a system in Windows, by default it is going to allow traffic, allow RDP only from any network. That is by default configuration. We are deploying Windows system. It is going to allow RDP because the server, Windows server is deploying in US, in North Virginia data center. The system is getting deployed. Now from Bangalore, I'm sitting from Bangalore. I'm accessing that system. How easily I'm able to access? Let's have a look. What is this port numbers? For each IP address, 65,000 plus port numbers are there. This security group is going to act as the security group is acting as a firewall. What port to allow, what port to block, the firewall configuration. Okay. The firewall is a security group is a concept. It acts as a security group acts as a firewall concept at instance level. Security group is a concept, acts as a firewall at instance level. I can allow specific port. I can allow HTTPS. I can allow if I do the checkbox. Is it required any firewall device configuration mechanism for me? Just enable the checkbox. That's it. I am a firewall administrator. I am a network administrator configuring security. How the traffic is flowing. How simple is this? Right? Let's go with the default configuration. Yeah. At any point of time, please interrupt me if you have any concerns, any questions. Okay. I am leaving network configuration default. In later sessions, we are going to do more configuration parameters to understand more. Okay. Network settings done. Configure storage. How much storage? By default, it is going to give 30 GB storage for Windows system. I am not changing anything. There are different configuration parameters are there. I am not doing any configuration changes. Let's leave it. Next, advanced settings. Leave the default. I am not doing anything. What are the things I selected? Just mention the server name. In this application, just selected Windows OS, right? In this instance tab, just selected one CPU model, that is a free tier. Here also selected free tier, here also selected free tier. Just created a key pair to get the password. These all things just left as a default thing. That's it. I didn't do any configuration. But able to deploy Windows 2022 server without having any knowledge. That's a great thing here. Launch instance. Just click on launch instance. It is the system is getting deployed in a fraction of minutes. Where? In US data center, in US region. In the region, one of the availability zone able to deploy Windows 2022 server without having any knowledge. That's the beauty of this cloud. Now let's go with Linux deployment. Let's deploy Windows Server. Now I'm going to go back. Dashboard. In the dashboard, again, I'm going to click on launch instance. Click on launch instance. Now I'm going to deploy Linux server. Let's deploy Linux.
Sir, I'm sorry to interrupt. Like in this free version, how many instances we can launch maximum?
It is up to you. We have a 750 hours of free time.
Okay,
If you
okay.
want to deploy 750 systems at a same day, you are going to utilize a 750 hours your free time. Okay.
Okay, means there is no limit for this, but the time should be in the mind that okay, it will be exhausted otherwise.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Here in a cloud, you need to understand one thing. Everything is a billable. Each and every
Yes.
component you need to understand. The one of the cloud advantage is scalability. If you want to deploy 100 systems, you need to purchase 100 systems hardware, many licenses and all those things. The one of the cloud advantage is upfront cost 0. What is the cost? You can choose pay as you go model. We are going to discuss in upcoming sessions. Okay. Let me deploy Linux server. Okay. Name mention. Quickly, I'm going to mention in application OS images. I can select Amazon Linux, Ubuntu, Red Hat, SUSE, Debian, anything. Let's go with one kind of flavor, Amazon Linux. Again, here drop down. Whatever free tier is available, choose that free tier only. Selected first one, no issues. First one selected. Next, instance type. Again, here also same thing. Whatever the free tier is available, choose that free tier only. Rest all the configuration you must not touch. We are just testing our deployment model, how fast it is going to deploy. Now key pair. I'm going to click on create key pair. Now for Linux key, I'm going to do Linux key second fifth. Here, I told you just now, for Windows system, we need to choose a PEM extension. For Linux system, we must choose PPK extension. We are going to showcase how it is important. Selected a PPK and create a key pair. Both files are downloaded, key pairs downloaded in a download folder. I'm going to showcase where the files are there. Next, network settings. See here, the beauty of the network settings. As soon as I select Linux system, what port it is allowed here? What port is allowed?
That SSH.
Previous one, Windows system, it is allowed a port of
RDP.
RDP.
Yes.
Now Linux, it requires SSH.
Yeah.
What is RDP? What is SSH? It is an application port numbers to connect these two servers remotely. To connect these servers remotely. From where? I am sitting in Bangalore. From Bangalore, I am able to access remotely, connecting to servers which are available. The servers are nothing but instances which are hosted, which are deployed on US, North Virginia availability zone. Okay, that's a beauty. I'm leaving network settings as it is, default. I'm not doing any modification. Click next, configuration storage. For Linux system, it is by default 8 GB. Leave that default configuration. I'm not doing anything. What selections I did? Just key pair created, that's it. One click here, one click here. and one click here. Just 3 clicks or max 5 clicks. I'm going to click on launch instance. This is a 6th click. That's it. My system is going to deploy. Let's see that. How easily I'm able to deploy. Launching image. Okay, I'm going to go back to the compute. EC2. Don't use the shortcuts. Don't use recently visited. Please use navigation. This important navigation, what is the category, where to click to gain the respective resource. It is very much important. Practice is important. If you use the shortcuts, you tend to forget where to go. Don't use shortcuts during the practice. Okay, compute EC2. The EC2 dashboard. Now you can see the dashboard. Here, previously everything is 0, 0, 0, 0. Now here instance 2 is there, and key pairs 2 created, 2 key pairs, security groups 3. Here all the 0. Here again 2 instances is there. Volumes are there. Everything we are going to discuss. Okay. First, access the servers, access the instances. That is a primary role now. We deployed 2 instances. Okay, successfully deployed. Now how to connect? How to connect? So I'm going to collect the details for any system. For any system. For any system. Windows, for example. Linux. Can anyone tell me for a remote tool, remote client tool for Windows system to connect? What is a remote tool for Windows system? To connect remotely Windows system, what tool, what application we are going to use?
RDP.
Yes, RDP, sir.
RDP, remote desktop client connection. The remote desktop, right? Remote desktop client. This remote desktop client by default in each and every laptop will be available by default. Remote desktop connection.
Yes.
This is a RDP. Okay. Remote desktop connection by default available. If your laptop is a Windows 11 Home Edition, by default, this tool is not available. Just you need to check that to get that remote desktop client. You can download and install. Yeah. Next, for Linux, what is a remote tool to connect?
Through secure shell.
Shell.
Yeah.
What is the terminal tools are available?
Putty, and then one more. I think the latest one. I forgot the
Yeah.
name.
Putty, whatever the name you are going
Yeah.
to pronounce. This is a industry standard terminal tool,
Yes.
or you can use a Git bash or different terminals you can use to connect Linux system. Okay. RDP client is a remote tool. It is going to work on 3389 port number, right? For this putty or putty, it is going to work on SSH port, that is 22.
22.
Okay. Now tools are, is a Linux tool is available, terminal putty session is available or not? You can easily download from the portal a simple terminal tool. You just type putty and you will be able to putty.org. Click on this putty or putty. Okay. I'm going to go use putty terminal going forward. I'm not going to confuse putty terminal. Okay. Putty terminal is a terminal client to access Linux servers remotely. If SSH is connection, you can able to. Okay. Now here option is there, download putty. Okay. I'm going to download. In the download page, you will be having an option for Windows system, or you can do for Windows installer. For Linux, by default, it is a plugin. You don't need to download any terminal. Linux is having a default terminal. Okay. So for Windows system, you need to download based on your processor architecture. You can download respective tool. As my system, my laptop is a 64-bit system desktop. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this particular tool, installer tool. it is going to download the PuTTY terminal. You can see that download PuTTY is done. I'm going to install just a simple installation. How simply we can able to install this PuTTY terminal. Okay, once it is downloaded, we are able to access and just double click. Don't install this any client tools in Office environment systems. You need to get a permission. We need to get an approval, okay, to install any kind of application. Not only that, from Office systems, you may not able to access cloud services by default. Okay, the respective organization may disable. So if you are able to practice in an office environment, you must connect to your mobile hotspot to access cloud resources during your practice session. If you are doing practicals at office, okay, a browser base, it's a simple browser base you can use and you can connect. Okay, I'm going to install, let it install. PuTTY terminal installation is so simple. It is just a smaller file. It is already installed my laptop. I'm just refreshing my system latest version. That's it. It is installed. Then click on finish. So both tools are available for Windows system, for RDP and Linux. So whatever the system remotely to connect, what is the details required? I need a username, password, right? And IP address or name, right? These three details required for any system, Windows or Linux, whatever it may be. Now, how to get username and what is password, what is the IP address, what is the system name? I have tools to connect Windows system. I have a tool to connect Linux system. But to connect that, what details are required? These three details are mandatory to access the system remotely. From where to get these details? Let's have a look. We deployed a system in United States, North Virginia, wherein I have two systems deployed. Very simple manner with a few clicks. Deployed two systems. You can see that both systems are deployed, both systems are running. Both are showing as a status check, 2x2 check passed. State is running, everything is fine. Now I'm going to select first Windows Server. Now see here. I didn't select any checkbox here. And you can see that the connect option is grayed out. The connect option is grayed out. Okay. I'm able to get the details, password details and IP details as soon as I select the respective server. I'm going to select. See, underneath it is a blank white window. Underneath it is just a black white window. It is stating that select an instance. I'm going to select Windows Server first. As soon as select Windows, it is giving a details. What details it is showing? It is showing public IP address, private IP address, public private DNS, public DNS. Who is going to tell me what is the difference between public IP, private IP? Who is going to tell me what is a public IP?
I can tell you, sir.
Yes, please.
So public IP is given by, like Amazon has as it is very simple to understand and, remember, if we need not to remember the IP addresses. So public IP is like any domain name which can be changed. So like in Office, we use a separate, what to say,
Okay.
can you hear? Hello, hello,
Yes, you are audible.
hello,
Yes, Imtiaz, you are audible.
hello.
Okay. Let me continue. The difference between public IP and private IP, the IP address, whatever the IP address, without communication, two systems cannot establish packet travel from one source to destination. It requires a communication. That communication is going to happen over the IP address. That IP address segregated as a two classification, private IP and public IP. What is a private IP? Whatever the IP address you are going to configure, you should not configure all available IPs. Their segregated IP address assignment based on the some networking rules. Those rules designed by networking organization. Okay, that as per the network organization, that IP addresses you can go Google it. Differences between, I'm not going to talk about theory here, just private versus public IP. Just you are able to understand. The private IP address, whatever the IP address you are going to get your mobile device or your laptop device at home or at office, that IP address must be private IP address. Whatever the internet access you are able to get to access any internet site, if you are able to access internet site in the sense, whatever the internet access you are doing, that google.com, this is a name, it is registered with a public IP. Public IP is nothing but accessible that IP address over the internet. Over the internet, you are able to access one particular website in the sense that website is registered in a DNS server with a public IP. The public IP can be accessible over the internet. Private IP. What is a private IP? That IP address is assigned internally. Only internal resources can able to communicate. For example, in your home, 5 systems, just open your command prompt, just open your command prompt and IP address, IP config. You are going to get an IP address. If you see here, IP address, my IP address is 192.168. This, by looking at this IP address number, I can say that this is a private IP. There are the ranges are available. We are going to talk about IP addresses and IP classes and VPC topic. Just I am going to give you just a glimpse of information to understand better IP address and public IP. So in an instance, my question is, what IP I need to use to access remotely? I am sitting in Bangalore. This particular system is deployed in US, North Virginia. Now, do I need to use private IP or public IP? DNS we'll talk about later. DNS, public DNS, private DNS, we'll talk about later. Now, which one is going to say that? Which one is need to connect? Just I explained, private IP within a local. Public IP need to over the internet. Now I am accessing the cloud service. That is EC2 instance I'm accessing, sitting in Bangalore. Accessing a cloud resource of EC2, which is hosted on North Virginia. Now, a logical understanding. Do I need to use private or public IP?
Public IP.
Public IP. So simple, right? The public IP, we are going to use public IP. Internet IP is, private IP is meant for internal communication within the organization, within the home. You can check your IP address, what IP address you are getting, your laptop at office, at home, what IPs you are going to get. Just, I'm going to showcase private IP address range. There are 3 classes. You can see that there are 3 classes. There are 3 classes. You can see that whatever the IP you are going to get at home or office, the IP address is going to start any one of this particular IP address range. Now, just now I showed you in my local system, my IP address starts with 192.168. Is that 192.168? You can check. Okay. Now here, whatever the instance we are using here, You can see that the IP address, by looking at that IP address, you are able to understand which is a public IP, which is a private IP. You no need to classify it like this. By looking at the number itself, you should be able to understand, is it a private IP, public IP? You can see that 172 to that 31. As per the article, 172.31. See here, this is a range. Now the system is having 170 to 31 range. That means it is a private IP address. What is a cloud? Cloud, the definition is accessing the resource, accessing the application, accessing the service over the internet. That service will be configured with public IP. So we are going to use public IP. I'm going to just click on copy and come over here. What is IP address? I can use IP address or name. IP address collected. Any doubts here? Why I mentioned I selected between two IPs, why I selected public IP? Okay. Any doubts, please let me know. Next, I need to get the username and password. Selected Windows and connect tab is highlighted. I'm going to click on connect. As soon as I click on connect, I am getting options, three options. Session manager, RDP client, CC2 serial. There is a three ways to connect this system. Which one I need to use? As I'm using RDP client tool, so I need to choose RDP client. These two things, session, serial console and session manager, we are going to discuss in later sessions. Okay. I'm going to click on RDP client. In RDP client, there is an option, get password option. Get password option. What is the username? Username is administrator. I'm going to copy the username. Out of three details, I got two details already. Only password I need to get. So I'm going to click on get password. When I click on get password, you can showcase we downloaded two key pairs. You can see that. Refresh. You can see that one is PEM extension, one is PPK extension. I said PEM extension is for Windows, PPK extension for Linux. Now, on which system I'm browsing for connect? Here it is asking, upload a private key file. What file? Whatever the key pair, whatever the private key pair generated during the Windows deployment, that key I need to attach here. So I'm going to click on upload private key. I'm going to click on here. Automatically, I need to go to wherever I saved. I saved in a downloads folder. I'm going to go to downloads folder, wherein it is showing only PEM extension file, not PPK. That means Windows system get password option is going to work only. I can get the password by uploading PEM file. How did I get this PEM file? During that deployment of EC2 instance, I selected a key pair PEM extension. What is the name? WinKey 02 February. I selected this, click on open. And some code is generated here. I need to click on decrypt password. At the bottom right corner, decrypt password. So see here, I got a password. I'm going to copy just. Copy, click on copy icon. I'm going to come back. I'm going to click on password. This is a password for this particular system. I have all the details. I can connect. Now let's go with Linux. What details I need to collect? I'm going to details, go to instances, EC2 dashboard, instances. Now I'm unselecting Linux server. Now you know that what is the IP address I need to select, public IP. No need to explain, right? IP address, public IP. Next, username. What is a username? Username, again, I need to click on connect option. In this connect option, you can see that there are ways of connecting. Four ways are there. In RDP, in Windows Server, only three options. In Linux, four options are there. Out of all these, which option I need to select? My option is I'm connecting to PuTTY terminal. So I have to choose SSH client. In SSH client, is there any option get password? No option to get password. What is a username? You can see default username is a EC2 user. How do you connect? I can connect with a SSH. This is a command I can connect, or else I can use EC2 user. I'm going to copy that EC2 user. Username is EC2-user. But I don't have password. How to get the password? We are going to see. Now we are ready to connect two systems. First, I'm going to open RDP. At any point, if you are distracting or not able to correlate, please immediately ask the question. Okay, I'm going to allow each and everyone to speak up. Everyone allowed to speak up. You can just unmute. Okay. So my remote desktop session is ready. Now opening the details. First one, IP address. I'm going to copy and paste here. Click on connect. As soon as it is going to connect, it is prompting for username and password. What is the username? I have to mention administrator. Administrator. Okay, next, what is the password? This entire password I need to copy and paste. Click connect. See, I didn't install OS. I didn't select any system. I didn't purchase any system. I'm able to log in to a Windows Server 22 edition. How easily I'm able to access. The system is deployed in US. Sitting from Bangalore, I'm able to access this system. Okay, this is a connection for Windows Server, minimizing the Windows Server. Now, how to access the Linux server? For Linux server, I already installed Putty terminal. So I'm going to open Putty session. In Putty session, just concentrate on what I'm going to use. Here, what is IP address? I have an IP address details. So I'm going to mention in the Putty session, session is highlighted. Under session, I'm going to mention host name, IP address. That is done. Next one, here different actions are available here. I'm going to select connections. Under connections, there is an SSH. Expanding the SSH. And there is an authorization, AUTH, authorization. I'm going to expand. In expand, you can find credentials. In credentials, you are in a position to provide a private key file location. Click on browse. Now you can see that it can showcase only PPK extension only, not PEM extension. Wherever you downloaded, you can go there and attach that PPK extension file. This file was downloaded during the deployment of Linux system. That's it. What again I'm going to tell. First, in session, I just mentioned IP address. By selecting session, IP address is mentioned, public IP. Coming to the connections, under connection SSH, under SSH authorization, auth, expand. Under expansion, you will find credentials. Under credential, there is an option to attach PPK extension file. Once you browse and attach the file, click on open. The session is going to accept. And what is the username? Just you need to mention I'm going to increase the font size of Putty terminal. I selected the top left corner. I'm going to get the menu. In this menu, I'm selecting change settings. In the change settings, I'm going to select appearance. In appearance, I'm going to select change font size. I'm going to select 20, click on OK, apply. What is the username? EC2-user. As the password attached It is going to take password credentials from this particular key pair. What is the key pair? Where did I attach? It is downloaded this particular file, ppk file, during the Linux system deployment, instance deployment, that path mentioned in a PuTTY terminal. Okay, just I am able to connect Linux system. Just I am going to execute commands. Just I am going to execute the commands. What is the commands? Sudo su. I am able to do whatever the commands. You don't know what is the commands. No worries, you can practice. I'm not a Linux administrator. You can practice, you can do R&D. It is a free.
Hello, sir.
Cool.
Sorry for the interruption.
Yes,
Vijay
please.
here. So my question is, uh, so through this course, may I know what the knowledge I can gain, and uh, could I know the and contents of this entire uh,
Okay.
topics, whatever we are covering from this
We
session,
are going to cover
moving
all the
forward?
topics which are mentioned in the course content. In the first
Mhm.
session, also mention what are the topics we are going to discuss. Okay. This course, AWS Solution Architect Associate. We are going to discuss about compute. We are going to discuss about storage, discussing about networking, discussing about a backup solution, monitoring solution, well-architected framework, migration tools, SNS topic. There are many
Okay.
services which
Yeah.
require a infrastructure management, how an IT traditional environment, what are the tools, a system to work properly.
Mhm.
Okay, monitoring
Okay.
is
Got it, sir.
required,
So I
networking is
came from
required.
the, sorry for the interruption again. So I came from the database background.
Okay,
So how this particular course will be helping me when I go with the database background.
okay. During the database administration, if any, for example, you are working on a SQL DB or Oracle DB, okay, instance, you are going to configure DB username and password settings, right? And you are going
Uh,
to take a backups, isn't it?
yes, exactly. That's correct, sir.
Now everyone is moving to cloud. Now the same database, how can you manage in the cloud? So the database, you no need to install the respective tool. You no need to take any backups. You can schedule the DB configuration. To schedule or to take a backup, you should understand what backup tools are available. To access the database, you should understand what system, what application is installed. And the
Okay,
communication in a traditional environment, in a current organization, you no need to bother about what network port is allowed, isn't it?
correct.
If any network
So,
issue,
as per my understanding, so we are going to cover the database related topics as well. You mean, right? We can
yes,
use the database, how the environment will be when we want to use the database in the AWS, right? We are going to
exactly,
cover this.
exactly.
Okay.
Currently, you are only managing database,
Hmm.
but in cloud, it may be AWS, maybe Azure. You should understand as a cloud administrator, you should understand how system is going to configure, not only database. You should understand monitoring, backup solution, system integration, storage integration, network integration without having deep knowledge. I am not a from database background, but without any database knowledge, I can configure database by using simple cloud front-end application.
Okay.
That
So
we are going to learn from these modules. Yeah.
great, great to know that. So we will be getting the knowledge when we go through with these topics, and so I'm able to go and deploy and migrate the data from one server to other server. So these are other scenarios we are covering.
Yes,
Uh,
migration. As part of migration, you are going to understand what to migrate, how to migrate. Everything is a step-by-step process. We are going to understand each and every services detail in a detailed manner. At the certain point, we are going to integrate each and every service with one to other. You are able, as a cloud administrator, a solution architect associate, you are going to provide a solution end to end. In a traditional environment, you are limited to only database related knowledge only. But in a cloud, you should able to understand each and every component without having any deep knowledge on respective technology. For example, deployed Linux instance. I am not from Linux background. I am from Windows background. Even though I am able to deploy a Linux system, without having database administration, I am able to configure database components. There are different database, MySQL, SQL, Oracle, whatnot, Postgres database. There are many database services are available. Without having any knowledge, you are able to configure. Okay.
Great. Great to know the details. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Vijay. Thanks
Explaining
for
it.
asking. Okay. So Linux system is connected. I'm able to connect Windows system. See here, Windows system connected. Able to access whatever the components are there on Windows system. I can configure roles and services, server manager, I can do whatever the configure tools. For example, in Windows, server manager I'm opening. How easily I'm able to access practice. I don't have any knowledge on Windows server. You can do left and right without having any knowledge. You can understand. Nowadays, the technology, the requirement of career, it is not limited to one technology. You should able to manage the environment. You should have a knowledge if it is a Linux server or a database server or a Windows server. You should able to manage that end to end. I am only from the database, only I can configure database. It is not going to work, right? In a current market trend is looking for multi-skills. You should able to deploy Windows, you should able to deploy Linux, you should able to configure database, web server, whatnot. Everything. They're expecting multi-skills. Agile methodology. To meet that requirement, you are getting a great platform to practice. That to 12 months. Everyone says that I don't have any live environment to do practicals. Without having any experience, if you do practice for 3 to 6 months, by understanding each and every services, there are hundreds of services. You can project yourself as a 4 years, 3 years of cloud technology experience. It is all depends upon how you present yourself, how you are going to answer, when can you answer, when can you present. If you do practice well, that practice, if you want to do outside, you need to purchase a system or you need to take a rental basis and all those things. And you need to set up a configuration, networking, storage, and all those things. Now cloud, AWS cloud is providing all the services for free. The only thing is that you should have a knowledge, you should have an enthusiasm to learn, to enhance your skills, right? So we successfully deployed 2 instances. One is Windows instance, one is Linux instance. Now I'm going to talk about some basic theory, like what is the cloud models? What are the cloud providers? First of all, advantages of cloud. I'm going to touch base. Advantages of cloud is nothing but availability, scalability, pay-as-you-go model. These are the basic advantages. The cloud industry is booming like anything. Availability means any application, if it is a down, if any data, any system is down, you are not able to access the data. the cluster configuration in a traditional environment to make the application available, highly available. In cloud, that cloud is going to provide 99.99 11 nines availability. You can configure that application downtime, you can reduce in a better way. Only thing is that you need to pay extra charges to maintain the availability of application. You can achieve 99.99 11 nines availability provided by AWS. What is the scalability? Scalability is nothing but what kind of environment. Are you looking for 10 systems? Yes, cloud provider is ready. Are you looking for 10,000 systems? Within within minutes, 10,000 systems can be deployed. You can shut down, you can deploy anything, any kind of scalability, the cloud is ready to serve. What kind of storage looking? 1 TB, 10 TB, 100 TB storage. Yes, it is available. Scalability within fraction of minutes. If you want to purchase a system in a traditional manner, you need to place an order, that order has to deliver, that has to configure, that has to install, and entire process is going to take nearly 1 week to 1 month. From the placing of the order, approval, placing, getting, and all those things, takes 1 week to 1 month, maybe 2 more months also. But the scalability, whatever the environment you are looking for, in fraction of minutes, the deployment will be completed. The pay-as-you-go model, this is one of the greatest feature. The cloud is enabled, blooming like anything. Use it and pay. Postpaid service, in mobile postpaid service, similar to that. You use it 1 hour you are going to use. Yes, pay for 1 hour. I already showed you yesterday. My bill usage 30 rupees, 70 rupees. Who is going to provide? How many times I'm deployed? 2 systems deployed left and right today now. It is almost 2 hours consumption is done. I'm not paying anything. I'm practicing myself. I'm delivering the training sessions with these 2 systems. That is a cloud advantage. This is a basic advantages of scalability, pay-as-you-go model, availability. What are the cloud providers? Why AWS is an industry leader? Azure, GCP, Google Cloud. What is many cloud providers are there? IBM,
Oracle,
Salesforce,
IBM.
Salesforce, Oracle. There are many cloud providers. If you take it about cloud providers, why AWS is a market leader? Because the quotation, the pricing model, that compatibility, how many operating systems it can support, how many applications it can support, how the robust infrastructure it is, how smoothly you are able to deploy with 1 CPU, 1 GB memory, you are able to access Windows Server 2022 with 1 CPU, 1 GB RAM. You can imagine? Will you able to deploy 1 GB, 1 CPU RAM with a 2020 server? See how easily I'm able to navigate that options. This is the background infrastructure, the virtualization that is capable handling the request and providing virtual server in a smoother way. That too, it is a free. If you are happy with this free resources, you are going to come to that organization, deploy services, use the services. How robust infrastructure it is capable support 12 months free. How many users are available? How many systems are deploying? Within this training module itself, there are more participants. Everyone registered. They are going to deploy 1 or 2 instances, even though that's supported. Like worldwide, how many members are deploying? Even though I'm able to access my resources very smoothly. That is the robustness of the infrastructure. That's the reason AWS is industry leader in cloud provider. What is that? Cloud providers. Public cloud, private cloud, hybrid, community. There are different cloud providers. What is a public cloud? Whatever the services, shared infrastructure by different organization. Public cloud is nothing but the underlying physical infrastructure, the back-end infrastructure is usable by different people. You are connected, I am connected. Both are using underlying infrastructure, same infrastructure. That is a public cloud. You are not able to see what service you are using at the back end. Both of us may be using at the back end same physical resources we are able to share. That is, we are going to talk about public cloud. What is a private cloud? Whereas in traditional environment, whatever the traditional environment earlier we are using till now on-prem, a specific data center, a specific building, entire IT infrastructure only belongs to specific organization. That is a data center earlier until cloud comes in picture. The same traditional data center, now they are named as a private cloud. It is also cloud. A private cloud is managed by only one organization. Public means the data center, that specific availability zone, going to use by different organizations, different users, different customers. That is public. Only one specific customer if using or specific users are using, that is a private cloud. What is a hybrid cloud? Hybrid cloud is nothing but their services, their systems, their applications, some systems are there on-prem within private cloud. Some services, some applications are hosted on public cloud. That is nothing but mixture of environment, private and public cloud. That is hybrid. What is a community? Community cloud is nothing but a specific organizations, like take it as the example of banks. If all banks together accessing a specific financial related services in one particular data center, that is community cloud. There are different organizations. Not all organizations are going to access that service. Only specific organizations come together accessing a specific data center, that is a community cloud. Any doubts here? Any doubts? I'm going to take
Yes,
5
sir.
minutes.
I have one doubt regarding key. Whenever we try to configure the server in the AWS, so we used to get the key right for Windows and
Yes.
Linux. So, for example, if I lost the key, uh, how we can access the services?
How can you access? The key is useful until first login. Once you log in, if you configure, change the user mechanism, you can create a users, you can say create a user configuration and all those things. If you create a different users, you can use those credentials, you can log in without a key pair. Now the answer here, without key pair, how to connect Linux
Yeah,
instance.
correct.
Here Windows also, first time when I connect Windows, I need a key pair. If I change this username password, for example, Windows system, I'm going to use computer management. I'm going to change, I'm going to create a new user, administrator user, having a lengthy password here, right? I don't know,
Yeah,
I don't want to use that password. I can simply go to local users. Similar way, in Linux system also, users will be there. I'm going to reset the password. If I reset the password, I don't need a key. Without reset the password, if you forget, if you lost the key, you can't log in. To get a password, If you don't save the password, you need a private key to unlock the password, to get the password. If you lost the password, there is no other way to log in. There is no option to generate. You need to go with a new system. You can attach the disk with other system to get the data backup. These are the configuration parameters we are going to see upcoming session. Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
reset the password.
So you mean without key, we are able to log in by using our credentials, right?
Without key
Even
for
in
only Linux system, we can log in.
okay, okay.
For Windows, we must have. Now I reset the password.
PIM key must be required. You mean to say
Yes, PEM
for
key,
Windows, whereas for Linux, it
PPK.
require yeah PPK. Even without PPK, also we are able to log in
In
that.
Linux instance, see here, Linux instance, whatever the Linux instance is available here, this Linux system, I'm not going to use key pair. I'm not going to use putty terminal. Just click on connect here. There is an option EC2 instance connect. This EC2 instance connect option gives you a privilege. Directly, it is going to use web client, that browser, as an media to connect server automatically without key pair, without remote client tool. Web browser is going to use an connecting media to access the respective console. Remote tool, web client. Okay, EC2 connect console. In the C here, I didn't use the password. I didn't provide the key pair. Without key pair, without putty terminal, I'm able to access terminal.
Super.
Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Any other questions? Let me
One
explain.
last question is so with by this entire course, so which is the best option? So as per my knowledge, I know there are few kind of layers in the AWS that we can learn from the start, beginning from fundamental, and next level is like arctic level, next level is professional level. So which is the first option that I have to choose to
Okay.
have a end-to-end knowledge? Is a
Very good
AWS solution
question.
architect?
Yes, very good point. This course is designed to understand fundamentals. Okay, cloud practitioner, that is required for managers, sales professionals. What are the services are available? That is a minimum. This course is suitable, and you are going to get a knowledge to perform cloud practitioner as well as solution architect associate. That means infrastructure administration, solution design. You are in a position to do services providing. You are in a position to configure all the components together and providing a decent solution to the customer. Okay. Next course, next specialization. Without AWS Solution Architect Associate, no other component you are able to work. This is the basic requirement to perform any advanced skills like AWS DevOps, AWS Terraform, AWS Cybersecurity, AWS AI, any advanced skills which are available in this particular portfolio. Everything is going to depend upon AWS Solution Architect Association. This is the starting lab training module which you need to understand thoroughly to understand upcoming sessions or advanced skills, any specialization skills. Hope it is clear.
Yeah, it's clear for me.
Yeah.
So you mean to say, so we can, this is the basic thing, basic course type that we can choose to have end-to-end knowledge going forward
Exactly.
for any advanced topics also. Okay.
Not to end, it is starting. It is must.
Okay.
You should have this knowledge to enhance, to upskill your knowledge in different domains, different specializations.
Correct. Okay. So
So,
we are covering most of the concepts, right? I mean, as I said, I am coming from the database background, so we are covering those configurations also, means like database and networking or monitoring and all these layers level of concept knowledge we are able to get from this AWS solution architect
Yes, yes. You
course.
can access in this particular Logic Labs technologist and you can click on upcoming batches. If you are not gone through this course content, okay, click on course content, a PDF file will be downloaded. In this PDF file, you can see that what are the components we are going to discuss in this course. Okay, some additional components also added in this course like migration, AWS well-architected framework, all those things added as an additional. Not only that, for example, you are going to ask, if it is related to this course, I'm going to discuss about that, I'm going to explain about that. If that course you may not aware, it is part of Solution Architect Associate, is it part of DevOps, is it part of Terraform? So I'm in a position to whatever the detail you are looking. Last time someone asked about, do you cover Kubernetes Docker? I said, it is not part of this course. It is going to cover in DevOps, right? So like that, whatever the question you might have, go through this course content. And if you have any doubt, is it going to cover or not, you can send a mail communication to support@logiclabs.com. And they are going to redirect that query to trainer respective faculty. Yeah.
Okay, got it, sir. Thank you so much for the details. So, as we discussed about migration, so just want to have that only in my mind since I'm a database background. So, whether we are covering the database concepts here to take the backup and import the data, export the data, and make any recovery concepts, are we covering or not? Just want to know.
Yes. The
Hmm.
database, we are going to cover how to take a snapshot backup, automated backup. Two concepts are there. Your backup, you are going to do manual jobs, or you are going to use a scripted based backups to automate.
Hmm.
Here in AWS, there is a solution, database solution. There are different databases. For each and every database, snapshot backup is going to act as a manual backup. Automated backups, whenever you are going to create an instance, you are going to create an instance, not installing any specific Postgres, SQL, Oracle, nothing. You are going to create an instance on a specific database. During that instance creation itself, you are able to create a user's security purpose. You are able to configure retention policy of a backup automated. You can take a manual backups by creating a snapshot backup. During the migration, for a database migration, what kind of tools in a migration of database related, what kind of tools you are going to use, all those things we are going to cover. Yeah.
Great, great to know. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. See here, before closing, this is a final session of free to attend. So next session, you must complete a payment if you are happy with this training module. And if you want to share with your friends about this second day of YouTube, link will be published shortly. So you can share and you can watch again and understand. Once you are happy, please try to complete by going to that upcoming batches in Logic Labs Technologies and click on payment link here for the respective batch 392. Once you click on payment link, you must complete to continue for next session that is coming on next Saturday, that is 8th February. Whoever completes the payment, they are going to get a separate Zoom link. The free sessions are completed. So whoever completes the payment, they are going to get a separate Zoom link to continue next sessions. Yeah, please, if you are happy to this training module, please, if you want to continue, please complete the payment as soon as possible to get a new Zoom link. And not only new Zoom link.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I actually enrolled for the AWS previous batch, sir.
Okay. Which batch? Batch number?
Uh, 391.
391. Yes, okay.
AWS, actually, the problem was two classes actually missed
Okay.
due to personal work.
Okay,
Is there a chance that I can could join the new batch for a free, because I actually paid the amount also previously?
that's what. See, one of the key important thing is here. No
Hmm.
problem, because these sessions are getting recorded. Whatever the batch it may
Yes,
be,
sir.
sessions are getting recorded, and all the
Hmm.
recorded sessions are available. If you miss any session,
Okay.
you can access LMS Graphy portal, wherein that
Okay.
recorded sessions you can access lifetime. You no need to continue in this batch again, no need to pay separate amount here. Whatever the batch you
Okay, sir.
paid, you can continue. You might receive the Zoom link for that particular batch. Whatever the
Okay.
sessions you missed, you can play the videos, recorded videos, and continue live sessions. Or else, if you are missing continuous live session, all live sessions you missed, no problem.
Yes.
Record sessions are available. One by one session you can play whenever you have a time, and you can complete
Okay,
that.
sir.
And the respective faculty is available. So any kind of queries after playing the recorded, you still not able to understand. You need to
Okay,
simply
sir.
send a mail communication by mentioning subject line as a batch number. The respective
Okay, sir.
faculty is very friendly. You are able to get a response, what to do, what to follow. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, sir.
yeah, thank you.
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So please, if you want to continue this particular batch, please remember one thing: no batch shifting, no amount refund concepts. Okay. If you want to continue, before making a payment, try to understand, are you making a payment for right batch, right course? So once you complete the payment, you have to continue in the same batch only. Please make sure you are making a payment for right batch. Okay. That's all for today. If any questions, any queries, if no questions,
So a small question, sir.
yes, please.
Uh,
Yes,
Hello.
please. Yes, please. Continue.
Sir, suppose after launching EC2,
Uh-huh.
we launch a server, sir.
Yeah.
Suppose we launch Linux or Windows server.
Okay.
If I stop the server and again run, will the IP address change, sir?
Yes, for every shutdown and reboot, the public IP is going to change.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
So whatever the
Okay.
instances we deployed, I forgot to, before log off, that instances must be terminated. I selected both the instances. If you are not going to terminate these instances, the billing is going to continue. Unnecessarily, you are going to waste your free tier access. Okay. So what I am going to do here, there are two instances running. So my practice is done. You have to select instance state and click on terminate and delete instance. It is mandatory act you need to do for everyone. Okay. If you are not going to terminate, or if you just select a stop option, your billing will continue. Please make a note. Once your practice is done, select the instance, click on terminate instance. Okay. Once the instance is terminated, your billing is going to, whatever the usage, that usage is going to stop. Okay. These instances are getting terminated. Now I'm going to go to dashboard. You can see that. Make sure that instances are showing as a terminated. Here it is gone. Now again go back to dashboard. I'm going to refresh, and here it is showing 0. Instance still it is showing 2 here. This number 2 will be disappear after some time. No need to worry. Just make sure, click on that instances, and it is showing as a terminated. That is important. If it is showing as a terminated, your billing cycle is going to stop. It is not going to charge any hours. Okay. Make sure these two instances, whatever the instances you deployed, it is showing as a terminated. Okay. Once this terminated, we created a key pairs. Whatever the key pairs, no use. You just select a key pairs and click on delete. Click on type delete. key pairs deleted. Next one, security groups. In the security groups, you need to keep whatever the security groups created during the deployment. Only those two security groups only you need to delete. You should not delete the default one. You can see that for every security group, their default one will be there. You should not select delete option this. You can select whatever the security groups you created during the deployment that must be deleted. Okay. You must not delete a default one. You must not delete a default one. Make sure if you delete a default one, you are not able to access the resources. I'm going to click on delete security group, which were created during the deployment. I'm going to type delete. Done, delete done. That's it. We are done. Cleanup is done. We deleted all the things. Everything is showing 0, 0. You can see that 0, 0, 0. This security group 1 is showing default. That default we must not delete. Remaining all zeros, here it is showing 2. This 2 will be become as a 0 after maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. Okay. Must not, it is showing as stop or any other action. Terminated means these entries will be clean up after some time. No need to worry about. Okay. Okay. Sorry for extension. More time is taken. No problem. So if you want to continue next session, please complete the payment as soon as possible to get a new Zoom link. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Have a great weekend. Have a great day. Bye.